Jones, artist here, and today we're going to talk about oil and cold wax. Now, first of all, I need to let you know I'm not an expert. I've just dabbled in it 2 or 3 times, and I'll give you an example of those things that I've done. But I had a friend ask me about my experience, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to share my experience, and I'm going to do a little bit of work on this piece that I've already begun to give you an idea about oil and cold wax. So let us begin. Let us dive in. Let us go do it. And here we go. All right, so this is one piece that I finished. It's an 8 by 10, and I turned it to the side so you could see the texture. This is another piece that I did, one of the first ones. And again, I'm turning it to the side there so you can see the texture. This is the set of materials that I use for doing the oil and cold wax. You can, from the left bottom, those are my oil paints. They're just Blick oil paints. The little can is the cold wax. Up above you can see the pieces, the 2 that I finished and the one that we're going to work on today. Going on around the circle, then you see my little container in which I keep all my marking tools. And then right below that you can see all the marking tools that I've pulled out of there. And they're on a circular microwave plate, which I use as a palette. I have a plastic palette knives, sponges, a brayer, spoons, a little piece of sponge, some little pattern scrapers, and then in the middle there you can see it's a cake decorating tool that has a pattern on it that I can roll through the wax to make a pattern if I so choose. And you'll see all of that, I think, in the video used. I think you'll see most of those items used. Okay, on this palette, you can see that I have little piles of the cold wax laid out, and then also some colors. And again, if you start on the left-hand side about 8 o'clock, you'll see some alizarin crimson, and then moving up clockwise is red. At the top I have some green. 1 o'clock-ish, you will see a pile of the cold wax with some off-white. Then you'll see some orange and another pile of cold wax with white, and then yellow, and a palette knife. I add to the colors as I go, so you'll see how that all works. Okay, so this is my piece. This is a cradled board. Got it on sale from someone. It's white coated, and then I covered it with blue. I do have an idea for what I'd like to do. I don't know if that'll turn out, but then it doesn't really matter for oil and cold wax, the kind of abstract work that I like to try. One person that's really good to watch for this is Lisa Boardwine. So if you want more instruction on that, she might be a good YouTube person to watch. I am going to mix up some off-white. And all I'm doing is mixing the cold wax with the oil. I've laid them out and I'm just mixing it. I'm using a plastic palette knife that I have from somewhere, I don't even know. I'm also going to mix up some white. This is titanium white. And I've chosen my palette using my Bob Burridge color wheel. I love his color wheel because it's really, really, really simple and keeps me focused. So I've chosen blue as my main color, obviously. So red yellow is my focal color, purple red is a spice color, and green yellow is another spice color. So everything is going to be really light though. In fact, I'm even going to mix up some of this off-white with white. I don't want it to be super white, but I want it to be lighter than this off-white color. Yeah, putty. There we go. All right. I'm aware that you cannot see all the colors, and I apologize for that. This is my setup, and it is what it is. I have some different colors around the edges, so I'm going to mix up some little bit of cold wax with each one of those so that I have them to mix in with my white. Again, I want everything to be really high key on this. I'm kind of going for a clouds and blue sky look, although that may not be how it turns out looking. So there's some yellow that I can also mix with a little bit of orange to make a nice yellow red. That's a little bit more yellow red than I want, but that's okay. I'm going to mix it with the white anyway, and that's going to take care of that. I have some green. I'm trying to leave one palette knife for each of these colors. So let's mix up a little bit of yellow green. This goes a really long way, so I don't need much per color. And I have some alizarin crimson, which is kind of a purple red, a cool red. And then we'll be ready to go. I have lots of tools here at my disposal for doing what I want to do. So I think I'm going to begin with a yeah, I think I'm going to begin with this and the off-white that I mixed up before. And let's see, I want something there, and it needs to be, well, I can work with that later. The paint that was applied before was applied with different things, a sponge and a brayer. So this is specifically shaped cloud, so this is where I'm going with that. One morning I just looked up in the sky. I was out doing morning car duty, which is my favorite duty if I have to do one at school. And I looked up in the sky, and there was a sky full of clouds, and they all looked like a certain thing to me. So I'm not going to tell you what that certain thing is, because this may not turn out to be that, although it's looking pretty good. So I'm mixing up some more of that. There we go. Ooh, I like the texture that I'm getting. I am not a very intuitive painter yet. Maybe someday I will understand intuitive painting and I'll be able to do a better job of it. I'm not that person yet, so sometimes it can be a little frustrating. I am going to take some paper towel and clear this space a little bit more, and even use a paper towel to give me some cloudy texture. I like that texture that's in there though, that spongy sort of texture. And when you're doing this, or when I'm doing this, I just love whenever I just try something and it's cool. And so that was cool. So now I'm getting a little quite cloudy texture, similar to what I wanted, except they're in the middle. Good, yeah. Okay, maybe even a little bit there, not too much. Maybe a little, I don't know, textured. I don't want to get into too much detail. But that texture is good, okay. Want to start adding in some of these other colors. I'm going to get some more white out. I didn't get enough before. Because blue and white's boring. And a little more, oh, this is the cold wax that I'm using, Gamblin'. It lasts a long time too. You can see there's still a lot left after the few things that I've done. I'm just going to take a blob and put it in the middle where I can use it from. And take some over to my white and mix it in. Now they say that, and I don't know because I don't paint with oils. The only thing I use oils for in my current practice is for oil stain underpaintings, and it's so thinned down that it dries within an hour. So I don't know, but they say that adding the cold wax makes it dry faster. There have been times when I wanted it to dry much faster, so I added some drying medium into it. That it wasn't nearly as fast as I wanted it to be, but okay. Blue and yellow, red, of course. So we're gonna get a little bit of this orange, and I just don't want it to be all super white, you know? I want to make it an exciting white. This looks like kind of a highlighted color to me, so I'm going to put it where the light I think is going to be. So I'm just using the palette knife that I used to. One of the things I do love about this medium is how textured it is. I super like the texture. Let's see, light, which way is the light coming? It's kind of coming from behind, which makes it, let's imagine that it's coming toward the front. And so I'm not entirely happy with that. All right, let's switch colors. Let's have a little white. What can I use to dip my white out? Here. Oops. Here's a spoon. Oh, that's gross. A little white over here to make it pink, and my focal point. So this is a spice color. It can't go everywhere. In fact, it needs to go as close to the focal point as it can without being the focal point. It's just there to highlight. And use my paper towel. I don't want that sticking out there. Yeah. Let's see. I think I want to mix up kind of a muddy green. So I'm going to use this off-white. And a tiny bit of this green, tiny bit, to be my more like shadowy color. Maybe a little bit more green. And I might tuck some red in there to make it gray or, yeah.
Oil and cold wax video.
Oh,
Oil
that's
and
my
cold wax
reminder
video.
that I'm supposed to be doing this.
Oil and cold wax video.
Let me see if I
Oil
can
and
get
cold
it to
wax video.
stop.
Oil and cold wax video.
Stop.
Oil and cold wax video.
Yes, I know. Okay, it stopped. Maybe it will not come back. I don't know. Okay, this is going to be my shadow color. And I'm going to be really light with it. Ooh, I like that curvy kind of look. Curvy kind of look. Yes, I do make sounds whenever I'm painting. Anytime I'm painting. Doesn't have to be oil and cold wax. What? Do I like that mark? Maybe I do. I don't know. It's not there forever. Nothing is written in stone. This is paint. And I can do whatever I want. Ooh, I like that. Let's put some of that on top of what I've done already. What do I have that would be a good applicator for that? No, not the. Look at that. Look. Ha ha ha. Are you starting to get an idea what this might be supposed to be? I don't want to make it too obvious, right? I think it's too obvious for an abstract work. That's okay. You do what you want to do, right? It's art. These little things are actually cake decorator things. Are pretty cheap at the grocery store, and they're just they make little different designs. So kind of missing some more blue. I might have to get some blue out to keep the blue faith here. Oh, look, I can scrape back. That's pretty cool. And then just tap the edges of the scrape back so they're not too sharp. I like this splash of white over here. So, oh yeah, that's what we were doing. We were getting ready to put some more white on top of everything. And the highlights. And I'm just popping it on there, just blip, 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 blip. Oh, some more sounds. I'm just standing back a little bit to see how I like it. Maybe my there. Well, it's not really putting it on, is it? So this is a lot of experimenting for me, because literally the pieces that you saw before are all that I have done. And it was fun, and the thing I hate worse is the cleanup. But I think I'm going to stop for right now and kind of try to figure out what else I want to do with this. I may end up completely obliterating it at some point, but that is my experience with cold wax, and hopefully it will be helpful to you. And feel free to leave any ideas that you have for my practice in this in the comments. I obviously don't really know what I'm doing, and would love to have any ideas that you might share with me. All right, so oil and cold wax. This is Esther L. Jones out.